Patrick, thank you for joining us today. And firstly, can you give your comments about the Vietnamese business community?
Well, the business community in Vietnam in 2012, of course, although we are going through an international crisis in Europe, in the US, in Japan, and we know that the environment, the business environment in Vietnam is suffering right now. But we have to say that in the past years, in the past 10 years, we have made a study on the industrial sector in Vietnam, and we have to say that a lot of improvement have been done in the past 10 years. When we look at the competitivity and the competitiveness of companies, Vietnamese companies, they improved a lot. That's why now we can see that Vietnam is doing extremely well in many sectors, such as fisheries, coffee sector, textile sector. So in many products, they even reach the rank of #1 in the world, such as in coffee. But we have to acknowledge that right now the situation is quite tough. It's quite complicated for the companies, indeed.
So what do you think about the capacity for Vietnamese businesses in cooperation with foreign companies?
Vietnamese companies need to be strengthened. We have a large number of examples. Let's talk about the furniture sector, furniture or textile sector or the leather sector. Companies, they have a good capacity to produce, but they are lacking of sophistication and they are lacking of capacity to produce innovative product or design. That's why in UNIDO, in fact, we have a program called the Cluster Program, done with MPI, Ministry of Planning and Investment, where we provide technical assistance to the companies to improve the design. We employ many international experts from Italy, and we try to make a linkage with Europe and with Italy, and in improving the design of the shoe manufacturing sector, the shoes. And the textile, like the suits and the shirts. So what companies are lacking is not the capacity to produce. They are lacking about innovation capacity and sometimes design capacity. So if they want to target international markets, like in EU, the EU market, or the American market, or the Japanese market, they have to improve this aspect. They have to improve design, innovation, and quality. These are the three main aspects, I would say, which are lacking for the companies in Vietnam.
So what support that foreign companies can bring into Vietnam to help strengthen Vietnamese businesses' capacity?
Technical capacity, know-how, technology transfer, and sometimes market access. But market access is not the biggest problem, in fact, because we recommend companies to continue to work in their traditional markets, such as the US, Europe, Japan, and the domestic market, because Vietnam, of course, is a market. But we recommend also to look into the regional market, the ASEAN market. ASEAN, so far, for Vietnamese companies, they still don't have so many close relations with Indonesia, with Thailand, with Malaysia, and these countries are very close to Vietnam, very near. They have a good purchasing power. And they are not really hit by international crisis. So we really recommend to diversify the markets. But of course, foreign partners, bring technical capacity and technology transfer. I think that's the number one to bring from abroad.
In recent time, amid the economic difficulties, many local companies have to suspend operation or shut down operation. But in the second half of the year, we have seen many positive signals, and more positive signals is expected to come to the market in 2013. So what should be the strategy for local companies to continue to develop and expand operation and expand business in the coming time?
I think the strategy is to diversify and in the meantime to continue to look at the domestic market. As I said, Vietnam is a market with more and more people able to buy things, which is a good thing, of course. So the company should not forget the domestic market, but in addition to the domestic market, regional and international, we should combine both. So far, we see a big trend. I mean, the big trading relation between the US and Vietnam, EU, Vietnam, Japan, Vietnam as well. I think companies should start to look into other markets. As I said, ASEAN market. Why not Chinese market, Russian market, Arab markets, Middle East as well, like any other country. When we look at the strategy of companies from the US or from Japan or from Europe, they don't restrict themselves to just one part of the world. They really try to open up. So I think Vietnam and Vietnamese companies, they should really look into the regional market.
And that's all for our interview today. And again, thank you for joining us.